Port Elizabeth, South Africa. The cruise ship docked at Port Elizabeth on time at 6 a.m. with an all-aboard time of 6:30. We had over 12 hours to experience Port Elizabeth and its surroundings. Since we met South African immigration and custom requirements at the previous port in Richards Bay, we had no issues disembarking from the ship. Port Elizabeth does not have a cruise terminal, so the NCL Dawn docked in a busy industrial port. However, I didn't mind for this arrangement. And for passengers who did not book a tour directly with the cruise line, transportation would need to be picked up outside the port gates. The walk outside the gate is short, less than a mile long. For this visit, we had planned a self-guided tour to explore the famous Otto Elephant National Park and needed to make our way to the airport to pick up our transportation. We were able to secure an Uber driver very easily. By 10 a.m., we were en route to the airport to collect our rental car, which is about 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles away from the port. Upon arriving at Chief David Sturman International Airport, we had to make our way to the ATM to withdraw some South African Rand and then picked up our rental car. We managed to get the most affordable rental option, considering we would only need it for a few hours this day. We inspected the car for any damages before driving it out of the parking lot. Everything looked good, and so we were ready to go. We left the airport parking lot, and given our limited time in Port Elizabeth, we headed directly to the freeway to make our way to Otto Elephant National Park. Port Elizabeth is the coastal hub of the Eastern Cape and is famous for its beaches, history, culture, and safari excursions just a short drive away. As soon as we got onto the freeway, we passed the central district of Port Elizabeth to our left and the cruise terminal to the right. Traveling to Otto National Park from Port Elizabeth is straightforward, and the distance is about 100 kilometers or 60 miles. There are two entrances for Otto National Park, the South Gate and the Main Gate, which is located further north. You want to enter through the Main Gate, where most of the safari facilities are located. Entering from the north will allow you to experience the entire park, and it's designed to be this way, and the exit through the South Gate will bring you closer to Port Elizabeth. The drive itself was smooth, and the freeways are well built and well signed. You will need to take the N2 and make your way to the main camp via the N10, passing through Patterson. For safety reasons, it's advisable to drive to the main camp through Patterson. After about an hour, we reached the main gate. Upon entering, we encountered a large disclaimer and warning sign about safety and the prohibition of firearms and drones. The security guard searched our vehicle for firearms and drones, and since I had my drone with me, I had to declare it, and the security guard locked it up in a bag similar to a cash deposit bag. I would be able to retrieve the bag once we reached Southgate. We then made our way to the Welcome Center to pay for the daily park permit fee of 437 Rand per person, which is about $24 US. With the fee, we received a park map. We also explored the facilities available at the Welcoming Center, including a large wall map where we can plan out our day further, and visited the souvenir shop. Important to note, visiting Otto National Park through the cruise line cost $149 per person. With our park map and day visitor permit in hand, we were ready to enter the park. Since this is a national park with dangerous wild animals, tourists are not allowed to leave their vehicles at all. There is a zero tolerance policy for exiting your vehicle. However, there are several designated lookout points where you can step out of your car at your own risk and take a look. After about 15 minutes, we decided to stop at our first viewpoint, which overlooked a water hole where we were able to see a few zebras eating under the hot sun. As we continued driving, we spotted a herd of zebras along the road. To be honest, I was concerned that we might not be able to see any elephants or wild animals, given that it was the middle of the day and the temperatures was extremely hot, well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. However, after about an hour of driving and keeping an eye out, we finally stumbled upon a herd of elephants, including a mother and her babies. On this day, I was able to witness when a herd of zebras approached a family of elephants in search of water. Sadly, the large elephant wasn't having it, and it scared off the zebra herd from the waterhole. After about 20 minutes, we continued our self-safari tour and came across dozens of zebras. I really enjoyed watching the young ones engage in playful behavior. We also encountered a female warthog with her piglets, which added an excitement to our adventure. As we made our way south to the South Gate, we visited the last waterhole in the park, which was the best way to conclude our visit. We saw dozens of elephants along with a variety of other wildlife running around. As we approached the South Gate, we had to show our day permit, and I was able to retrieve my drone from that safety bag. We spent a total of 5 hours exploring Otto National Park, and by 5 p.m., we were able to make our way back to the airport to drop off our rental car. By 6 p.m., we returned the car and called for an Uber to pick us up. And by 6:30, we were back at the cruise terminal, possibly one of the last passengers before the all-aboard time was announced at 6:30. Once back on the ship, we quickly refreshed ourselves with a cold shower, enjoyed a glass of wine, and made our way up to the deck 12 for the sail away. Given the cloud types, I anticipated an amazing sunset was waiting to happen, and I was right. This was perhaps one of the best sunsets I've ever witnessed, and this was all happening as we said goodbye to Port Elizabeth.